This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. And we have with us Emily Dubach. She's the intern coordinator at Bridging the Gap Collective. And also we have two interns that you have invited to join us as well. Welcome, Emily, and please introduce your interns.
Hi, yes, thank you for having us. So I have Amanda and I have Sai. Amanda is an intern from Grand Canyon University, and Sai is an intern from Adler University.
Hello. So when you interned, so are you in Chicago or are you able to do work from uh, virtually?
So the interns work both in the Park Ridge location, the Lakeview locations, as well as telehealth.
Awesome, awesome. How do
Mhm.
you like Chicago interns?
Oh, Sai,
I
you're muted.
Sai, I think you're muted.
Hi, I got it. There we go. Um, it's great. I was born in Chicago and raised here, so um, it's been a lot of my most of my clients are right now are virtual, so that's been an interesting learning experience. But I'm surprised at how there are some differences, but really it's essentially the same. It's just about making a connection. I'm surprised how much you can do that uh, through the computer as well as you can do it in person.
Mhm.
And when I learned that you try to help the interns and their future practice develop their own identities. So how are identities different among the interns? Maybe we'll start with Amanda and with Sai.
So yeah, Amanda, would you like to introduce kind of what you do first, and then that can kind of speak to your counselor identity?
Yes, I work with both kids and adults. So I have a focus of working with children, but I also work with adults, and it's a great experience because especially right now, this is the time to get to know which population that you work with best. So that's my areas of expertise, if you will.
Mhm.
So you
Amanda also has interest in kind of the larger scale of things as well. She's working with one of our board members to learn kind of the nonprofit, the larger side of kind of what we do.
Mhm. Are you talking about maybe the marketing side as well?
More like the internal nonprofit, grant writing, or kind of stuff. But yes,
Yeah.
we also do a little bit of marketing on the intern side. We have a marketing intern for that. So we also welcome marketing interns specifically for the marketing of Bridging the Gap.
Got it. Got it. How about you, Sai?
Well, I'm coming to counseling as a second career. I worked as an actor for over a decade in the arts. So it's been interesting I feel like I have strong sense of my identity at my age. So it's been about finding a way to translate that into the counseling uh, field. So just again, working with different populations, but just kind of finding my own style. So like that's how I kind of view the identity issue. So I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I'm a pretty funny guy. So just learning how to incorporate humor with clients and just like you want to be someone that a client is going to connect with. And the best way to do that is just being your authentic self. So just kind of getting this practice and meeting clients and like finding your identity to be like your real authentic self because that's what helps clients really feel safe and connected.
Well, you say that you use humor, and I understand how humor could help. Are you able to give us an example of applying humor to a clinical setting?
Oh, come on. You can't explain jokes. They never work that way. um, let me think about that for a little bit.
I can kind of
It's
help
very
with that.
tricky. Yeah, it's an interesting I think that's kind of what I'm working on the challenge because you want to find a balance, but Um, Sometimes you'll have someone crying and they can say something and you can tweak it and they'll just start laughing because laughter and crying are it's so kind of interconnected. So just finding ways to, it's hard to give an example because it's so personal to each client. You're trying to find out what um, you don't want to be telling stand-up jokes and be insensitive. So it's about like finding little opportunities to kind of, um, not lighten the situation, but just view it from a different perspective, something that you're crying about. And then if you can make them kind of laugh about the absurdity of it or laugh just about even how awful it is, sometimes it's just like, I cannot believe how this happened to me. And that there's a freeing sense to that. So I'm sorry, I can't think of a specific example right now, but maybe one will come to me as we go along.
Oh, I understand. It is hard. That's why I was I could feel how humor might work, and then it requires like the perfect balance for it to reach the client without
Abs-
offending. And
Absolutely. And that's a really fine line that you always want to stay more on the cautious side. So sometimes maybe I'll have something I think is funny, but I have to use my best judgment in that moment and be like, that's not gonna, it's all about helping the client. So it's about making the client laugh because not because I want them to like me or think I'm funny, but because I think it's something that can reveal something about their struggles or alleviate something. So,
yeah, I kind of find that too, because I work in retail, and then sometimes I just talk with the customers and then add something from my personal life and then apply it to what they're talking to
mm-hmm,
me about, and then
mm-hmm,
find that little humorous connection, and then they start laughing about it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A lot of our clients too are either new to therapy or uncomfortable with therapy, and the humor aspect of it can help them feel comfortable in the space as
Mhm.
we're alleviating the judgment, we're alleviating the fear or the anxiety of being in a new space and being vulnerable. Vulnerability has so much anxiety attached, and being able to almost let that go of this person is authentic, they are real, and I don't have to be so rigid anymore.
Mhm. Well, when you try to alleviate clients' anxiety, first, when you start your interns are starting hands-on working in a clinical environment, they have to overcome their own anxiety first. So, how
Mm-hmm.
do you do that?
Yeah, so we have a lot of supports. We do weekly supervision with our individual supervisors. Then we do group supervision for a few hours twice a month to provide so much support. And then, of course, the people who are on call. And we allow for guided mistakes. So if you're unsure about something, or if you feel like there has been something you could have done better, we discuss with the interns how to repair versus like sit with the mistake and just let it be. We talk about ways to repair because we do work with humans and modeling maybe how to come back from a rupture, how to come back from a mistake, and being okay with that because our interns are also humans because therapists are also humans
Mm-hmm.
and perfection does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
So
And if I can add to that, it's also what Emily's taught me is that it's beneficial for the clients too, because we're modeling healthy relationships with them. And in healthy relationships, if you make a mistake or if someone gets angry or if a client gets frustrated or angry with you, which will happen, and sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not, but modeling that behavior of me saying, you know what, I apologize, I screwed up, let's talk about it, let's fix it, and just being someone who they can see like, oh, this is how you repair little mistakes. Mistakes aren't the end of the world. If I start really stressing out about a mistake and begging for their forgiveness, they're going to pick up on that. So it's about like modeling how to like healthfully repair, um, not necessarily arguments, but just say I'm sorry and offer forgiveness and then like move on. So that's kind of how I view it. My mistakes are a chance for me to learn, but they're also a chance for me to help the client learn.
That's kind of leading by example as well. Even though it's a mistake, it's still leading by example. How about you, Amanda? What have you found that you have the 24 hour, what do you have 24-hour support? Like if you're really bothered by something, are you able to call your mentor?
Yeah, I would say I have a supervisor who I'm able to reach out to at any point, especially if it's in a situation where the client is fragile and you need to develop a safety plan. It's great to have a support system like a supervisor to sort of reach out and ask those questions too.
And how often do you have to reach out to a supervisor? Did you have to reach out more in the beginning, less now, or how is it with you?
I think it depends on the situation. If there's new situations that arise, I definitely have to reach out because I will be unsure. But if it's something that I already know from the past, I usually don't have to reach out.
Do you find that you learn something new every day, or are there the cases, some cases that do kind of repeat, but with different faces, different names?
Yeah, I would say it's a case by case basis for sure. I think that certain cases will definitely bring new challenges and new information and new knowledge, and some other cases might just be in the wheelhouse, so it really depends.
And what about the families? Are you working with the individuals now? How do sometimes individuals connect with families and family therapy?
Yeah, I'm working with individuals, and I think that families play a big role into therapy, especially when you work with kids. You also kind of work with their parents, so I think family plays a role when it comes to therapy.
And how open are parents? Because parents have their upbringing and how they bring up their kids. Do they tense up when you're maybe that suggesting that maybe something is better with a little change?
I think that I think that parents and kids have their own different points of views, so it's just allowing space for both of those points of views to kind of be there.
And do you find that difficult?
I think it depends on the case and the situation, but sometimes, but not all the time.
So how does all your work tie in with Bridging the Gap Collective's mission and vision?
Yeah, so we're providing a lot of resources in a compassionate way. And we're also as the admin team or the board and supervisors, we spend a lot of time with fostering the education and the safety of not just the interns, but also their clients. And then we provide through the Juniper Center, we have a CEU school, and we provide a lot of education and learning that is free for the interns. And we focus on the multicultural aspects of that, different gender identities, sexual identities. So there's a lot of education understanding and comfortability with working throughout all kinds of populations regardless.
So Sai and Amanda, have you both been through this CEU program at the Juniper Center?
Yes, I have. It's an ongoing, it's a continuous education class, so it's really nice. Emily has made an archive of all the classes because it's usually a video, like they live stream Zoom call, and all of those are archived. So if I have a client with an issue that I haven't, maybe it's a client um, who's working through some gender identity issues, I can go to the website and type that subject in, and I'll get videos that can help me so I can watch that immediately and then use that for the client. And just to tie something in that Amanda was saying to your last question about parents being will open to change, I think with bridging the gap, what's very powerful about it is these are people who have been either ignored or cannot be seen by the healthcare industry because they can't afford it, or racial bias. So I feel, at least my experience is, when clients come to us, they've worked so hard to find help that they're willing and open to making changes and make adjustments. So it's it's really very powerful to be the person that, these people have been struggling for so long looking for help. So to have that opportunity to do some good really feels, it's a very powerful experience.
And usually, who refers like that sort of client? Is it social services that refers the clients to you? How I know that they're struggling to find the services. I'm sure that there are a lot of others in the community that similarly want to try to find those services. So how should those people try to find these services? What should they do?
Yeah, so we find a lot of referrals come from some of our partnerships. So like the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce, other nonprofit organizations that the Juniper Center has connected with. We kind of let them know that if they have clients or patients that need more support but can't afford it, we have that service. And then our own marketing, we kind of go out into the communities and let people know about us. If people are interested in getting in contact with us, there's the website Bridging the Gap Collective. They also can call the Juniper Center, and we share an access team. So the access team is able to get them aligned with one of our interns or one of our other therapists that are able to take clients.
Awesome. And what about the migrant population? There's probably a lot of the migrants too that need help. To the social services serving them connect some of the migrants with the Bridging the Gap Collective or the Juniper Center.
So I don't think we have worked with any of the migrants. Have you all? Not at this
No.
point. However, that's kind of what our resource is for, helping those who don't have insurance, who are on Medicaid or don't have the funding to go to therapy.
So if we do have some migrants that ask us, could we refer them to you and see if you might be able to help them?
Yes. Right now we have one intern that speaks Russian. So there is that. I do not think at this time we are looking for an intern that speaks Spanish. So send those our way as well.
Okay. So how does your work fit into the values of Bridging the Gap Collective?
For me, I only see Bridging the Gap clients who've been referred from Bridging the Gap. So it's all, I'm sorry. Can you ask the question one more time? I'm sorry.
Let me think. I think it was about the first
The values.
yes, the values, that's it.
Yeah. Is it how personal values?
The Bridging the Gap Collective's values, because I think Elise, she was mentioning how your work fits into the values. So let's
Yes.
talk about the values and how those values correspond to your work.
Great. So I go to Adler University, which is in downtown Chicago, and Alfred Adler, who it's named after, he was a contemporary of Freud, and they had similar ideas, but Alfred Adler has really veered off because he believed in the importance of communal belonging and how important it is to kind of work for the better good of the people, and that he felt you really couldn't be a whole healthy person unless you were in some way contributing to society. So it's not enough to have great friends. You can have a job you like, a partner, but if you don't have a feeling like you're contributing something to the world, giving something back, or just helping, then you're really not going to be a fully like a truly happy, content person feels like they're giving something. So this is that's how I feel. I feel it outside of bridging the gap, just in any counseling situation where you're helping someone, but especially here where you're helping people who in some ways have been kind of pushed back from society. Um, it feels it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding.
Mhm.
And you could recognize very clearly, right? The people that are not that have easier access to therapy, how they are in a clinical setting, and then how those who uh, find it very hard to access therapy, how they are in a clinical setting. Are you able to have you been able to compare the two?
I found that fundamentally people are people, so everything's kind of driven, and everyone kind of just wants to be seen and listened to and feel like they are um, validated. But there's definitely, like I said, I've found that the bridging the gap clients are really dedicated. They don't have the same kind of social safety net or social connections that maybe more traditional therapeutic clients may have. They don't have the options. So there is like this sense of really, it feels a little bit more high stakes sometimes
Mm.
with the bridging the gaps
And
because it is for them.
what is it about being an intern at Bridging the Gap Collective that drew you to this position for both of you?
Like I said, going to Adler, they're big. One of a big focus of this program is social justice. So um, I I really found that the other nice thing about bridging the gap, I've experienced working with so many people who I otherwise don't think I would have gotten the opportunity to work with. A lot of the other students at my school are interning in kind of more downtown areas, downtown private practices, and they're dealing with mostly people who are the same um, color as them, culture as them. So this just really gives me a chance, I feel, to um, see things from a different perspective and just feel just kind of exposing myself to people like not that other people don't have real world problems, but like seeing these real problems that a lot of people just it's easier not to see them. So to really confront them is again, it's just a very rewarding and challenging experience. So um, yeah, that's what drew me to it. Just kind of getting to work and understand people from different cultures, different backgrounds than myself.
What about you, Amanda?
Yeah, I would also say very similarly for me as well. My program is for social work, so I think that Bridging the Gap Collective really aligns with my social work values and being able to help people as well as the social justice aspect as well.
So, did you look around? Are there many other organizations like the Bridging the Gap Collective, or is it basically the one of a kind?
So there's a lot of organizations that will do pro bono therapy, do these kind of outreach and community events. However, Bridging the Gap for the intern side of it really focuses on intern growth. And I do find that to be a very different perspective of working with these communities. We're supporting the front line that's supporting them. And I believe that's what sets Bridging the Gap Collective apart from these other organizations is because there's such an emphasis on the care of those who are providing the care.
In other words, Bridging the Gap Collective is takes care uh, of the employees of the participants that are, your interns, and then after they intern, then will they be moving on to their own fields, or continue working as part of Bridging the Gap Collective?
And it's up to them when they graduate. We would love to keep them around, of course. And there's always an opportunity as well. So if people are looking for internships with the goal of employment, this is an opportunity for that. But it's not the pressure of staying with us. We'll support them regardless of wherever they want to go. And part of that is helping them set up with clients that they want to see to help them get to the places they want to go, or doing other things part of their internship. Amanda's a great example of that. She has interest in kind of the macro of running a nonprofit, and giving her those opportunities as well to help with whatever their goals are.
And Emily, you were practically the one that set up this whole internship program, right?
Yes, ground up.
Mhm.
And how have the interns helped you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think the interns realize how much they do, and how much they inspire the work that I do. I'm obviously doing this internship stuff because I really, truly enjoy it. And the interns always bring in some curiosities that could be explored, new perspectives, and showing this kind of intern community that can be very inspiring and very motivating to kind of continue. We all have bad weeks, but having a community and being able to be part of that community, even though I'm the leader of the community, for me, really does fill my cup.
So do you try to help the interns keep excited about the work?
Yes, and I try to do that with feeling supported. We talked about anxiety at the beginning of the interview, and rather than feeling anxiety of shutting down, I try to hold their hand as much as I can so they feel comfortable to let go of the hand, so they can still feel motivated and positive as if they're making a difference, and the confidence of kind of continuing to make that work, especially the confidence of growth over the year that they are with us.
It's pretty early yet, but have you had any feedback from clients about the interns' work?
Positive so far. When clients keep coming back, that tells me they're enjoying their work,
Mhm.
things that they're doing. I do help with a few of the parents of some of the clients, just to provide extra support to parents. And they have all felt very lucky to have found this resource, and have felt very lucky to have found the therapist that they have for their children.
What about the parents? Are there any parents that come for therapy as well?
Yeah, we have parents, and then we offer it to family systems as well. So if there is a family that is struggling altogether, we try to match each family member with a different therapist. So that's the parents seeing different therapists, or if that's the children seeing different therapists. Sometimes the parents just need help with maybe managing the cases. So we'll help them also with that case management side of resources, referrals, and maybe even psychoeducation. So whatever is the need of the parent, you know?
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us on WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM, Emily, Amanda, and Sai. And if our listeners and potential interns want to contact the Bridging the Gap Collective about internships, where should they go?
So if they actually go to the junipercenter.com, and they go to the internship page on our website, that will show all of the things, all the requirements, and it'll also give a link to my email account. So if you have any questions about any of the internships, whether it's the social work, counseling, marketing, or if you just want to be part of a nonprofit and give some time, you come to me and I will find where you're supposed to go. We'll do interviews with you, and find the perfect fit for a supervisor and a support for you.
And did you mention earlier that they could learn about grant writing too?
Yes. So if they do kind of have that, they can definitely come to us. And we have Keenan Stevenson. He is now our new president. He does a lot of that grant writing. He just wrote an amazing grant that got us some pretty good funding. So he's a great person to learn from.
Awesome. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much, Emily, Amanda, and Sai.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You.